as most of you will be aware.
Nelson Amenya, the man who has been haunting President Ruto's government and rattling Adani's allies, is swinging his final punches with ferocity. Refusing to go down quietly, Amenya has made it clear. If he is sinking, he is taking everyone involved in the controversial airport deal with him.
Well, I cannot say I'm in hiding, but at the moment, there are many intimidation tactics that are being used against me. Okay. They also sent, I haven't posted, but they sent some business associates of mine a letter threatening to sue them because they associate with me. And the reason why is because of my ex-posts, and they actually asked them that they should tell me to stop posting this information about him. So okay. All these intimidation tactics are in play.
Amenya is swinging heavy punches and is bringing down a few high-flying names with him. For months, whispers in the corridors of power pointed fingers at Ruto's inner circle, with Davis Chirchir and Kipchumba Murkomen rumored to be the key brokers of the shady deal. But now, the plot has thickened. Out of nowhere, another heavyweight has been yanked into the ring. Kericho Senator Aron Cheruiyot. Yes, you heard it right, Cheruiyot, whose clean political slate is now smeared by allegations that could blow the lid off the scandalous Adani affair.
I get you. My concern is we are on a show tonight that you want to name drop without evidence. But I agree, it may look like sideshows, then we have to agree that we will stick to the Adani deal, because so long as we have no evidence, Nelson, tonight, to put these names on the table and for them to defend themselves on the table, I think we should not name drop. However, the substance...
They should come out and say I'm lying.
You're challenging them to come out and say you are lying?
Yes, I'm challenging Aron Cheruiyot to come and say I'm lying, that he didn't go to India, that he doesn't know the KNH chairman takes him to the airport, picks him from the airport, and all these Indian syndicate that he is working with. He should come out and say this is false.
Okay. Perhaps he's watching tonight and he'll be able to respond on that. I want to pick other issues. So, the first time Kenyans got to know about this issue.
Nelson Amenya, amidst a barrage of threats and intimidation from Adani loyalists, has gone rogue. Naming and shaming, he has called out those he is claiming are neck deep in the murky waters of the JKIA deal. And Aron Cheruiyot is also part of the deal. His bold challenge is very simple. Come out and deny it if you are a man. It's a showdown that feels like a one man standing against two entire governments, Kenya and India. And can Nelson Amenya survive this colossal face-off?
I'm very mindful of my security at the moment because I have received death threats, and I know they're very serious because, they're from very reliable sources.
But before we could fully grasp the gravity of this battle, Aron Cheruiyot entered the ring, dodging Amenya's verbal jabs like a seasoned boxer. During the Senate sitting on September 19, 2024, Cheruiyot came out guns blazing, vehemently denying any involvement with Adani or the deal. But the senator didn't stop there. He threatened to add a fresh legal battle to Amenya's plate, on top of the existing one with businessman Jayesh Saini.
We don't speak a lot on issues that happen outside the precincts of this house, but when they are of a nature that appear to impede or interfere with our work here in the Senate, Mr. Speaker, then sometimes we are duty-bound to respond. Mr. Speaker, I have been made aware that on a TV show last night, that there's a gentleman who made very disparaging remarks against the person of the Senate Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, I don't respond to this kind of matters because as a public servant, Mr. Speaker, I know people can say things about us that sometimes either are unfounded, and if you make it your business, then it might be the only thing that you do. But I am deeply troubled, Mr. Speaker, that on a live television show, people who are either cloud chasing, Mr. Speaker, or bait clicking Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, can actually tarnish your name and speak untruths about you. Things that I have absolutely no idea of, and go on, Mr. Speaker, to speak at length about the person of Aron Cheruiyot. Mr. Speaker, for the record, I do not know Mr. Adani as alleged by that particular person. I have never met that individual.
What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52. I didn't mean to interrupt the Majority Leader, but I didn't intend to interrupt the Majority Leader. But the Standing Orders require that he should bring a personal statement under Standing Order 52 and explain these matters. To do it in this particular order, Honorable Speaker, I think is a violation of the House rules. There is nothing that stops him from bringing a personal statement and to explain himself the way that he was doing.
You know, he requested as well that there is a matter which happened last night that he wanted to speak about. So I was trying to reason what is it that he must say in this floor, but now interrupted before I listened to him to give guidance. I wanted to give guidance to him after I listened, because I was not privy. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, you cannot guide the chair on what to do. I don't have the advantage that I did not listen to that gentleman last night. So I was trying to get what he said about the majority leader. So let us get what he said.
Actually, what I'll do is that I'll bring a statement. But because I have been made aware of this matter just before walking into the House, and it's an important matter, I felt that I should speak about it. Surely, Senator Sifuna, if somebody was to make such allegations about you, don't you owe it to even your own colleagues just to clear the air? And that's all I wanted to do. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it on record that number one, I don't work for KAA. Number two, I don't work for the Ministry of Transport. I don't know on what condition somebody can allege that I brokered a deal between Kenya and another foreign entity, whose owner, agents, I have never met, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have worked extremely hard in my public life to protect my image. Those who know me and have worked with me long enough can speak to my integrity as a person, Mr. Speaker. I don't do those kind of things. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as a country, as we call for new levels of accountability, Mr. Speaker, doesn't it behoove us that we behave better than those that we accuse of committing certain ills? You cannot fight corruption, Mr. Speaker, by character assassinating other citizens of your republic. That gentleman, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it straight to him that my lawyers will be reaching out to him. I have a name to protect, Mr. Speaker. It is in the interest of this House, Mr. Speaker, that they know that they are majority leader. That's why, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues who are here know that this matter has been on the floor of this House for quite a while. I have not spoken to a single person asking them to either consider that matter this or the other way, because I respect the business of this House, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I also ask myself, what happened to our media stations? If you go to the editorial policy of the BBC, you will read, Mr. Speaker, that they delay even their live broadcast, Mr. Speaker, so that in case somebody was to either malign somebody or say information which they cannot prove at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, it is regulated and edited out. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as I seek for justice for my name, Mr. Speaker, the media house that was used as well to soil my name will equally have to give an account. Mr. Speaker, I will be bringing a statement to this House on Tuesday on a personal matter, but in the meantime, even before that particular Tuesday, my lawyers will be reaching out to those particular people.
Majority Leader. Majority Leader, you use Standing Order 58, yeah, to bring your personal statement. And since that a personal statement is never debated, even what you are saying to me should not be debated. Therefore, I really request, I now request Majority Leader Order, Senator Sifuna. Order, Senator Sifuna. Senator Majority Leader. Oh, no, sorry. Minority Leader. Senator Mazayo, can you make the comment on the statement? And Honorable Senators, 2 minutes are enough to make a comment on the statement.
However, the public wasn't buying Aron Cheruiyot's vibe. Kenyans took to Twitter demanding receipts literally. One vocal critic declared, the only way Aron Cheruiyot can prove Amenya Nelson wrong is by publishing his passport. Let him show us he has never set foot in India or met Adani. But he won't, because he knows the truth. And even if he does, it will be tampered with as usual.
He knows what this agreement is. Simplify it. Bring it to this committee. Give them a program. Tell them, look at this agreement. This is what we are looking at. Who would say no? If you come and tell me, like Rwanda, we have resuscitated KQ with 50 or 60 aeroplanes. We have paid the debt that KQ has. You are going to pay our workers who are destitute in that airline, and you are setting up Nairobi to be a hub. Which airline are you going to use to build the numbers that you want? We don't have an airline. You haven't solved the KQ problem. I beg you that this is a matter that Kenyans have taken very seriously. And thank you, sir, for listening to us.
Thank you very much. Let me have Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
In closing, Honorable CS Chirchir, I'm sure by now you know that the problem with the government in which you serve is not a communication problem. It is a credibility problem. Nobody trusts this government. And even with your best intentions, you have to work to restore the credibility of the government and public trust in the government that you serve in. Number two, if you can see, the reason why there's a trust deficit is not an accident. Your own minutes from KA, as we have been taken through here, have identified the fact that there are many competing interests, and they have to be vendor-driven interests within government. So Kenyans have every right, Honorable Chair, to be suspicious of this deal. Thirdly, Honorable CS, let me disabuse you of this notion that there are stakeholders in JKIA or in our airports distinct from the people of Kenya. The stakeholders in JKIA are the 55 million of us. You cannot have a small meeting somewhere in a corner, then claim that you have had conversations with stakeholders. Stakeholders in this particular case are the 55 million Kenyans. And the fact that there was lack of disclosure, and I think the committee will be making a recommendation that we make an amendment to the law on PPP. Immediately somebody arrives at your office, Honorable CS, with a so-called privately initiated proposal. Within 48 hours, you must disclose that that email has come to your email account. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to move forward with this. There are serious integrity concerns with the company itself, and of course, with the government that is proposing to go ahead with this particular project. Honorable CS, you know what happened to the finance bill. You know the sort of furor that it brought about. I can compare the objections to the Adani deal to that where we were with the finance bill. At this particular moment in time, even with your best efforts, and I know you are a very, what is the word? Yes, you are somebody who puts in effort. But I can assure you, CS, it doesn't matter how you explain this deal, the people's mind is made up on Adani. Please, abandon this deal. We will lose nothing. Go back to the position that had been taken by cabinet as expressed by the then transport CS Murkomen when he appeared before the Senate, that we will put out an international expression of interest. Let this process be above board. In the development and upgrade of JKIA, this PIP model is not going to be available for the government of Kenya. Put it out there in the public. Let people apply. Let the process be open. Let everybody see what proposals are coming from where. I do not agree that there are not many people who want to invest in this country. The reason why people are afraid to invest in this is because of these games and shenanigans that we are playing within our own governments and systems. we are the hosts of JKIA, all of us are stakeholders, but the people of Nairobi have told me to say no to this deal. Therefore, I want to urge you very strongly, cancel this thing. You will not, even with your best efforts, be able to convince anyone in Kenya today that this is a deal that is above board. Let us go back to public procurement when it comes to this particular deal. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Sifuna. Senator Ledamo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My friend, C.S. Davis Churchill, you should be in the front line rejecting this deal, even if it has some deal makers over a barrel being forced to do things whether they like it or not. We live in Kenya, and Kenya is a country where people are given incentives to be able to champion certain things which, even if they know they are not good, and that's what I mean being over a barrel. We have screwed up our constitution. We have messed up our legislations. We amended the Public Finance Act and made it easy for brokers to be able to come in and lobby for certain projects. This deal stinks. I want to plead with you to abandon it. If you look at the proposed capex investments, it goes in stages, We're a country, we're an industrious nation. I suppose we can definitely raise $99 million to be able to put up a runway. We can be able to raise $624 million to be able to put up a terminal. And if there's any airstrip for $92 million, we can actually be able to do that. I know right now, I've just received a text message from a very good friend, an international deal maker. And he said, Adani is pissed off. And his message to me was like, Senator, be careful, Adani is pissed off. We do not want to be held hostage. This is a country that we fight so hard for. This is a country that we expect to leave it for the future generation. And I plead with you, as someone who I know is forthright, if Kenyans don't like it, leave it. Let's leave it. You know, O.J. Simpson, the lawyer in O.J. Simpson trial once said, if the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. So in this case, Kenyans all over have said, we do not give a hoot in hell about this deal. Leave it. Leave it. I know for a fact that when people get into government, they line their pockets. If you consider their wealth this year and next year, you will know that it is because of incentive. That's why their wealth has grown. This is a country that has got all instruments, and it's got all the apparatus to be able to carry out that serious due diligence. The Gen Zs have sent a very strong message. We don't want June 25th to be able to revisit us again. We have to learn, and that is the reason why, even if I'm not a member of this committee, I was in this committee today, because this deal stinks like hell. So I request you to abandon it. Let us go gradually, slowly by slowly. If once we do, analysis, and we look at our hierarchy of needs, we see that what we really require right now is what do you call it? Not an airport, but a runway. I'm pretty sure, even if we cannot afford, and even if we are not magnanimous enough to give money, we can offer an instructional bond, and people will gladly invest in it. So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you.